I mean, it is a joke. You look at all these guys that are hurt with their hamstrings and quads, and it is a joke, and it's pathetic. I mean, you guys, no 1-2s. You guys don't want to practice. You guys are all bitches, okay? And Drew Brees is the leader of all those fucking bitches. I can't stand that son of a bitch. And you guys don't practice, and now you're all injured. You play 16 games. I don't like Tony Romo, but I got to give him a lot of guys. I'll give him credit, okay? Like he said, we only play 16 times a year on 365 days, all right? So go out there, you piece of crap. You're getting paid millions of dollars, and a little foot injury, huh? Some guys with turf toe can't even play. I mean, it's pathetic. All the money you get paid. Antonio Gates hasn't done nothing in 3 years. 3 years, okay? He's not worth the money he gets paid. None of them are. You know what I'm saying? You got to train hard, and these guys don't do it. The NFL is soft. Tell me it's not. Chris Johnson, 4 weeks in, he deserved that money he got. Nope. He's a joke. He's a joke.
And he wanted to be $100 million man. That's the worst part about it.
Yeah. Going 3 games to a season, and I don't think combined he has 100 yards. I mean, that's the guy that they said is the best running back in the league. I mean, I'll still say it. Aaron Foss is the best running back in the league, period. And I'll say it, Chris Johnson is not even in my top 5. Not even in the top 5. But anyways, that's the injuries for this week. Also, Vic, besides his little whining, I can't stand that dog murdering piece of crap. He's a no good son of a bitch. There's another guy. I remember Drew Bledsoe breaking his index finger and still putting up 400 yards in the passing game for a month with a broken index finger. This guy has a swollen hand, and he goes complaining about the referees. The referees don't give him the calls. The referees don't give him the calls. Do you know what team is number 1 for penalties on a quarterback in the NFL? The Eagles. The team that draws the most flags for their quarterbacks for 15 yards. It's the Eagles. So that's what we were talking about. How does the guy who has more flags, so basically saying the refs are on his side, they throw more flags at him than any other quarterback in the league. How can you say that they're against you? That right there catches the guy in the line. He's a baby. He's another one. He's not worth the money that he got paid. It was a fluke year last year. You got rid of Donovan McNabb, who established him, brought him to God knows how many NFC championship games, and because of one season, I mean, how many games? And you thought Michael Vick had changed? Like, no, Michael Vick is the same Michael Vick. He has no accuracy. He can't throw for shit. All he has is power. That's it. And that's the way it's always going to be. They screwed themselves out of I think a chance of the Super Bowl, because the NFC, even the Lions got a chance at the Super Bowl. But getting rid of McNabb, I think McNabb is just, he played in that system for too long, and that's why he's not productive anywhere else. He doesn't know how to play other positions, other playbooks. That's what I think it is, because you don't go from a Pro Bowl to that. You know what I'm saying?
Now that Kevin's got all that out, I'm feeling very emotional and emo today. Now, standings right now for the league in the Young Nationals division. The top 2 guys, North Alpha Disciples, Sean Circuit, 3-0. Number 2, the Big Bad Bus. And rounding out in last place, the 4 Crowns World Champ.
So the division, Young National Division, everybody's a game apart. I mean, that's what we like, everything close, and hopefully it continues like that until the last week of the season. Go on to the best of the best division. The Brazilian All-Stars led up their lead. Now the All-Stars and the little coach are tied for first place at 1-2. You have in third place a coach in third place.
Third place. See, like third place.
With 0 wins. Me in last place with 0 wins. Okay? Another example of the divisions.
Third place.
And rounding it off at last place, the Death Lords.
Listen, I'm
At
sorry.
0-3.
We should get some points. We should get a win added to our system just for doing this show. How is it the two guys that are doing this show on one from last place in our division?
Very weird. But also, last year, I think I was like 0-4, and then I went to like 2-6. And then the guy on the side of me lit a fire under my ass. And then the next second half of the season, I lost one game. So hopefully he can do that again for me. But yeah, very interesting. Usually it's the world champs at the top and the young nationals, and usually it's, you know, the coach or Death Lords or the Brazilian All-Stars. They're always there. They're always up there fighting for it. But so like I said, everybody doesn't matter. 0-3, 1-1-1. Everybody's a game apart or 2 games apart. So it's anybody's game. But the coach and the Death Lords, they got to pick up a win, and they got to pick it up soon. Because if you drop to 0-4 or 0-5, I don't know. But in the NFC, I think you can get in the playoffs with a win in the best of the best division. But going on to week 4, the last week of the best of the best versus the Young National Division. And before we go into the week, let's take what we've done the last 3 weeks. Young Nationals versus best of the best. Your opinion. What's overall record? I mean, we all know what a favor is. But how do you put it together? What would you give the definition of the 2 divisions?
Oh, right now, Young Nationals is playing really dominant right now. It's just not a competition right now. But the thing is, things change. Mid-season, it's only the first 3 weeks. Mid-season injuries start piling up worse. You know, we'll see what happens. But this week we got the coach going up against the Big Bad Bus. Who do you see winning that?
The coach at the Big Bad Bus. Big Bad Bus is home. You know, obviously starting off with the field goal. I see another close game, and you know, I really can't believe I'm going to say this, but I see the coach going to 0-3-1 unless he gets a tie. But I don't see the Big Bad Bus losing it. I hope he does. You know, I need everybody to lose and hopefully pick up a win, and that'll put me right into first place, tied. But I think the Bus is going to have just enough to get ahead.
Let me see. Adrian Peterson against the Kansas City Chiefs. Need I say more? The Bus should come out with a pretty decent win by at least 20.
Well, you should say more because they don't get on the ball.
Well, I think that's going to change this week. I see him getting 30 touches this week against that team.
Well, we're still to see. I mean, they could have easily won the games.
I think of it this way. You also got Des Bryant coming back. He should have a good game. I think it's the Bus's game to lose.
All right, going into the Apocalypse Death Lords at the North Dominant Disciples. North Dominant Disciples at home. Talked to him a little earlier. He says, how much you want to bet that this 0-3 team gives me my first loss? And it's going to be tough. But you know what? I actually think the Death Lords pick up their first win of the season. Took 4 weeks. Doesn't matter. I think he gives them the first loss and does me a personal favor. And goes on and picks up his first win. But it's going to be a very close game. Unless Tom Brady's playing Oakland Raiders.
So, anybody notice Tom Brady cut his hair? Anybody notice that? He finally cut his hair?
No, I don't look at guys.
Good. Listen to me. I hope it's like Samson. He cuts his hair, and he just has powerful games from now on. I see me pulling out a very close, between 5 and 10 point win.
I think you said this 3 weeks in a row.
No, I actually been saying I'm going to lose the past 3 weeks straight.
I don't know. It's gonna be.
I have not predicted a win yet for me until this week.
But going on, we got the Brazilian All-Stars at the short circuit the 3-0 short circuit at home. I see the All-Stars upsetting short circuit. I see no more undefeated teams after this week. I think the All-Stars have enough, and I think the short circuit is going to come back to reality real quick.
I don't see it. I see short circuit, Breeze, Rice, McCoy, Jennings, Welker. I see him just steamrolling over Gary's team by at least 20 to 25.
We'll see. And going on to the last game of the week is the Little Coach, who picked up his first win, facing the Four Crowns World Champion at home. They have it on paper as a close game, but I don't think the Little Coach has enough. Not even with Foster coming back. I think I take this one. I think this one's going to be the coming out party that I've been waiting for. What do you think on it?
Honestly, I see it, and I will say to myself, well, you know, he's going to go 0-4, 0-5 his first couple of weeks. But I'm looking at it now.
Who?
The Little Coach. I'm looking at it now with the questionable status of Gates. Peyton Hillis coming back from an injury, from being out, and then wanted to maybe share the workload his first couple weeks back. It might be a really close game. You know, he gets Arian Foster back. He just made a picked up Nate Washington. It could be close.
Well, there you have it. That's our. That's gonna wrap up our week's episode. There's what our opinions are on everything. I want to go into Big Kev's solid picks of the week. Like I said, I'm gonna take the Death Lords by 13 points. I'm going to take the Bus over the Coach by, about 9 points. I'm going to take the World Champs over the Little Coach by, I'm going to say 30 plus. And I'm going to take the All-Stars over the Circuit by, I'm going to say about 15 points. What do you go for your quick picks?
Death Lords over the Disciples by at least 5. Four Crowns World Champ over the Little Coach by 10. Big Bad Bus over the Coach by 20, and Short Circuit over the Brazilian All-Stars by 25.
What do you see? What do you see as the matchup of the week in the NFL? What's the game to watch this week?
In the actual NFL, wow. Honestly, I'm looking forward to the Jets and Baltimore for whatever reason. I just see that's the two teams that I think just gonna beat the shit out of each other defensively.
Well, you heard it here first, ladies and gentlemen. And before I forget, I want to mention again the losers, the old teams in this league, the Death Lords and the Coach. Get on track. Pick up your first win. It's week 4. People want excitement. I mean, really, let's get back on track here. I want to see you guys fighting here for a division title. And stay tuned, because next week, we're going to come to you bigger, badder than it's ever been. Watch out next week. Week 5 edition. Shotgun Sit Down. I'm your host, Big Kev.
They got me hitting, motherfuckers left me bleeding in the middle of the street. Now they say they didn't see me breathing. Looking for breath as they left me for dead. Several shots in the chest, and I'm still screaming, fuck yourself. On the ride, yet you still thought I died. Yet you drop it, I survived. Portuguese just don't die, snitch. Fuck that bitch as I ride through the night. Portuguese till I die. Benny Bling at my side, bitch. This ain't a game as I load up my pistol, aka trigger happy 40 Portuguese is missing, not admissible in court. VA need the weapon, yo, that shit's in the ocean, ain't nobody gonna get it. Y'all better listen to what we are saying. True Portuguese thugs and we ain't playing. And now we got your